Hello. Today I thought I would come at you with a record collection because it's been a while since I've filmed something, so I kind of want to get back into sit down vloggy videos. The first one I have is Harry Styles. I'm actually not sorry at all. I love this album. I'm seeing him next year. It was not what I was expecting from Harry at all. Like, it's much more, I don't want to say real music, but it is much more like real music than what, like, One Direction is a bop, but it's really meaningful stuff, and it's just really chill to listen to. Sweet Creature is gorgeous. From the Dining Table. Like, the slower songs with, like, the picked guitar, I much prefer. Like, I love Kiwi and I love Only Angel, but the slower songs with, you can feel, like, the meaning behind the lyrics much more, I prefer. So, Harry Styles. I've mentioned this before, I know I have, last year kind of time, but Submarine by Alex Turner, the Submarine soundtrack, there's only a couple of songs on here, I think 6, yeah. This got me through, 2015. It got me through the autumn of 2015. It's one of those albums that has stuck with me for as long, like, the minute I heard it for the first time, I knew that I just wasn't gonna ever stop. It's one of those things where if you feel overwhelmed and you feel stressed, you can listen to it and just calm down. And that is what it has been to me. Like, if I'm going through some rough shit, this is kind of what I play along with my next one, which is Bon Iver's Forever. Bon Iver's Forever Ago. I saw Bon Iver in September at Edinburgh Playhouse and was just blown away. It was gorgeous. It was just an experience that I'm not going to forget because Bon Iver is one of my favourite artists of all time, alongside Alex Turner. And this album, there isn't a single song on here that I don't like. I think it's my favourite of his. It's so raw. It's like warmth as an album. And you feel like you're in a cabin in the woods and you're there with, like, hot chocolate and a crackling log fire. Yeah, I'm an English student. I'm a writer. You're gonna hear a lot of these metaphor shit, alright? Alright. I stole this off my dad. I don't know if he knows I have it. If you're seeing this, Dad, I've got your Beatles record. I've got another one as well somewhere. Sgt. Pepper's, because fucking the Beatles are incredible. This is not my favourite Beatles album, which I feel like is going to be a controversial statement, because everyone who's into music who I talk to about the Beatles, they're like, Sgt. Pepper's is the one, and I'm like, I'm really sorry, but you're wrong. I have these, I have a couple of, like, small, I don't know what they're called, 45s? LPs? I don't know what they're called. My mother gave me this. It's Jethro Tull Said She Was a Dancer. My mum loved this. I must say I've never listened to it. Or maybe once. I think it's like 80s shit pop. I then also have this single. It's Strawberry Fields Forever and Penny Lane by the Beatles. I have listened to this, but again, when they're fine when they're small in singles, but when there's only one song on each side, it does get tedious, and I just kind of would rather use Spotify. I only have this because my mum works in charity shops, so she kind of just hooked me up with anything that I'm gonna like. Records are expensive. Go to charity shops. Find the records there. Don't be paying like £400 for an original. Just go to a charity shop. They're gonna be like a £5. Smiths. Hatful of Horror. It's got, like, How Soon Is Now and Heaven Knows I'm Miserable and Please Please Please, which are kind of the really cliche ones that everybody loves and I also love. I do want The Queen Is Dead on vinyl. Like, that's my Smiths album. That is the album that I'm, you know, borderline obsessed with. I know it's over. I will sit or lie on the floor and cry repeatedly and just play that one song on repeat. But I do also love this album. This Is the Kit, Moonshine Freeze. I love This Is the Kit. They played the Folk by the Oak festival this year. This is going to go up way before my July vlog because your gal's a mess. But this is their newest album. I adore this album more than, like, life itself. And I also really, really love the artwork and photography. And I'm really wary of how I hold my records now because people are going to shout at me. Red vinyl. Lovely red vinyl. So I really recommend this as the kit, by the way. They're not big. They're on tour at the moment, I think. But they're like folky pop rock. They're actually really original as well in the concept of that music. It's been so long since I filmed a video, I can't talk for long periods of time. I Like It When You Sleep for You Are Beautiful Yet Unaware of 1975, second album. Y'all know the one I mean. I like it when you sleep for you are so beautiful yet so unaware of it, which is a really creepy thing to say. And if anyone said that to me, I'd send them home. Apparently this is a thing that Matty Healy actually said to a girl. I like 1975, but they're overrated. They're overrated. They are. Like, they're good, but they kind of rip off 80s bands and kind of pretend that they created, like, they're gods. And this album is so long. It's a double LP. But, again, the aesthetic. That is one thing that 1975 do provide, is the aesthetic of the vinyl. Because that's hot. I'm not here to bash them, they're alright. I liked them more 2 years ago. They're okay. I just don't like Matty Healy's arrogance, and I think that's something that is definitely a personal thing of I really don't like arrogant people. So, please don't kill me. There are a couple of records that I've just picked up at charity shop and then never listened to, and it's going to be a really weird tangent. And this is one of them, the Vivaldi Four Seasons. I've not listened to this, but it's a record and it has the Four Seasons on. I'm just going to kind of power through some of these. Beethoven Overtures. Wagner. Tristan and Isolde. David Bowie. Ziggy Stardust. A classic album. I also want... here it is. I think this album is just so crucial in music history, and I love it. If you don't know anything about Bowie, what are you doing? Arctic Monkeys, Suck It and See You with tea stains on the front. Record people are gonna hate me. See, Arctic Monkeys are one of my favourite bands, so I love all of them, but I think this one, AM and Humbug, are my favourites, but every single song on this I am obsessed. I mean, Love Is a Labour's Quest and Piledriver Waltz are kind of the ones that I could cry emotional tears to. I've got another single of Just Tell Her Jim Said Hello and She's Not You by Presley. This is Hello Goodbye and I Am the Walrus by the Beatles. Simon and Garfunkel's Bridge Over Troubled Water. I haven't listened to this as much as I should. Only Living Boy in New York on vinyl is amazing. Like, just the song. If you've seen Garden State. What is wrong with my brain today? Garden State, if you've seen that. I'm reaching pretentious heights I didn't even know existed. I got an Elvis compilation album because the man has so many albums, I just don't think I'm ever going to have the money or the patience to get all of them. So I just got the 40 greatest hits and it has everything I wanted. All Shook Up, it's got Can't Help, and then like just all of the Heartbreak Hotel and Blue Suede Shoes and Hound Dog and like all the classic Presleys. It's kind of just what I wanted. I didn't really want to start having to play like one album for one song and then another album for another when I can just stick this on and listen to all of his hits. And this is another one that I picked up at the charity shop. Soul Hits. I think I only got this for Say a Little Prayer. This is again my father's. But it is also my favourite Beatles album. The White Album for me is the pinnacle of the Beatles. It's like where I think they peaked, because nothing is ever going to beat Blackbird and Julia and Back in the USSR for me. Like, Blackbird is, and everybody has those songs that they feel like they grew up with and it's never going to leave, and Blackbird is one of those songs for me. I can't imagine a life without Blackbird. It's like the first song I learnt on the guitar, like, to pick. And it took me like weeks to sit down and train my fingers to do it, and now it's like muscle memory. If anyone says play a song on the guitar to me, I'll play Blackbird. And I love the vibes of this album. Ella Fitzgerald sings Cole Porter's Songbook. I got this in charity shop. And I didn't actually have much Ella Fitzgerald. I kind of knew she did Summertime with Louis Armstrong, and that's basically all I knew of her before I got this. I do like Cole Porter he wrote quite a few musicals. They've got Always True to You, I think, on this. As a musical theatre student, Cole Porter was kind of drummed into me at my BTEC, so Ella Fitzgerald and musical theatre together is really comforting. It's one of those things where, it's one of those vinyls where you would have a dinner party with red wine and play this in the background and everyone would think you're really sophisticated and cool, but really you just can find records in a charity shop for pretty cheap. Again, one of my favourite ever albums, AM. This is like a really weird album for Arctic Monkeys fans, and while this is mellowed out mainstream, it also still remains very Arctic Monkeys. The lyrics are still really poetic. Like, Alex Turner knows what he's doing when he writes lyrics. I think this was written during and before his breakup with Alexa Chung. I'm all here for it. And if Alex and Alexa ever want to get back together, I'm all here for that too. Okay. If you were to talk to me in person about Amy Winehouse, I think I'd cry. Everyone I speak to, I'm like, watch the Amy film, watch the Amy film, watch the Amy... Why haven't you watched the Amy film? Amy Winehouse is such a source of musical inspiration for me, in terms of really being honest with yourself and your lyrics, taking chances. You don't have to follow the genres that are currently being made. Like, she was so jazzy in her first album, despite no one doing jazz at that time. And the honesty, especially in this album after her breakup with Blake, just the honesty and raw emotion in her lyrics, I think, is something that people should aspire to in writing. I think people should aspire to, just in terms of just being frank and honest with yourself. And I feel like the lyrics in here are just gorgeous. Back to Black and Love is a Losing Game, and, you know, those kind of calibre of songs. As a person, as like a musician, I just have ultimate respect for her, and like, knowing that she's gone still makes me upset. Literally, the Amy film is what got me back into writing music. I used to write music a lot when I was like 14 or 15, and then stopped, and literally only started again in like April this year after I watched it. And she just continues to be a huge source of inspiration for me. So, Back to Black, Amy Winehouse. This is my favourite album of hers, and it's the only one I own on vinyl. So, Flowers. I think this is called, oh no, Everybody's Dying to Meet You. I saw them live at the Fallow Cafe, which is in Manchester, last year with a friend of mine, and they're so good. They're so unique and original again. It's quite rocky pop, but it's very soulful, and there's a lot of feeling behind what they're doing. It's a really unique voice. It's something that I think really isn't here in current day music. But I do highly recommend them. I think they're growing very slowly, so definitely give them a shout. I feel like I've just spoken about nothing of emotional substance, so I'm hoping there's some kind of intelligence that I can edit together. But this is the last record I own. I cannot remember what this is fucking... Oh yeah, 22 a Million, Bon Iver. This, I was so thrown when I first listened to this. When it first came out, I listened to one song and was like, oh, fuck this. No, no, because obviously, like I said before, For Emma is my favourite, well, it's my favourite Bon Iver album, but it's one of my favourite albums ever made. So when this came out, it was so different, and I was like, what? No. But I kind of worked at myself and listened to it, and over time it really grew on me, and I really enjoyed it, and now it's like up there in one of my favourite albums. The vibe's very different. Once you get over the shock, you remember that this is Bon Iver, but you get over the shock that it isn't quite Skinny Love, it becomes an amazing piece of music again. I think like 22 a Million and Over Soon are both incredible. Like a lot of meaning. Live, it was insane. I was in shock at it live. What's happening? What did I pay for? Who is this? Because it's not Bon Iver. And then you start listening to lyrics and you start listening to his voice and you realise it is. He's just had a wee bit of an artistic change, which is fine. You can do that. That's what art is for. Thank you so much for watching. That was my record collection. I'm sorry if I offended anybody by my music opinions or how I treated records. Bye. That was such a bad outro. Oh god, that was so awkward. Cool. Goodbye.